say about Kyrie?
There's so much there. The crew they have isn't enough. If Kyrie got his game up, I mean, if he did more than score, Kyrie's amazing at scoring. Amazing. That's all he does. He doesn't make his teammates better, doesn't play defense, never led a winning team, can't even be on a winning team with Kevin Love and Thompson and other guys when LeBron sits down. When LeBron sits, they're minus $1 billion. I mean, it's unbelievable how bad that team is without LeBron, how good they are with him. So if the whole team was better, and that includes Kyrie, LeBron can't be much better, they would have a better chance, and LeBron wouldn't need as much. You know what it reminds me of, Stephen A., what it tells me about Kyrie, and you're reporting, he doesn't want to be sunned, right? I think of The Wire. Remember when Proposition Joe told Marlo, who was there, to hit him?
Right.
He told him, I treated you like a son. And what did Marlo say? I wasn't made to play the son. Kyrie Irving ain't Marlo. Kyrie Irving's not a boss like that. When LeBron isn't playing, why doesn't your team win? Before LeBron got there, why were you on the worst team in the league? Kyrie Irving is an extraordinary talent. There's no denying it. Scoring the ball. And I've seen him play defense. He is capable of doing it, but he doesn't. He almost never does. What Kyrie Irving is to torture a metaphor.
He does in pockets.
Here and there. What Kyrie Irving is to torture a metaphor is remember the character Snoop? The girl on the motorcycle with the machine? That's what he is. He's a weapon, not a boss, a weapon to be deployed, when LeBron needs a breather. But what has he shown in his professional career? Both sides of the ball.
He's a closer.
Elevating his teammates, that makes anyone think that he can be the cornerstone of a championship team. So when he says LeBron's sunning him, dude, LeBron's better right now than you will ever be. Kyrie has no chance to ever be as good as LeBron is right now. If he's saying he wants his own team, then he's saying he's good enough to be the best player on a championship team. He's has the potential to do it, I suppose, given his ability, but he has never demonstrated it in the NBA.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. I love how you try to change the narrative. I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to get you back to it. First things first, just to make sure that I articulate this. This is just a reporting aspect here. Kyrie Irving's father is from Mitchell Projects. He's got a bunch of friends that are from there. Obviously, he has a very profound impact on the thinking of his son, even though Kyrie is known to be his own man, and he will do what he has to do, okay? But let's be clear about something here. You've got Kyrie and his family through his father that's connected to the Mitchell Projects. I'm from Hollis, Queens, New York, but I happen to have been born in the Bronx, and I have an abundance of friends from the Mitchell Projects who knows the Kyrie Irving family. That is where that came from, because that's what they were told. That's what they've heard from Kyrie and his peeps. That's number one.
What hospital were you born in, Stephen A?
Excuse me, at a Memorial Hospital is down the block from something that was called Hoe Avenue back.
I was also born in the Bronx. Albert Einstein Hospital. You might not be surprised.
There we go. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Not at all. Not at all, Max Kellerman, Mr. Intellectual. But here's the reality. When you talk about Kyrie Irving, can we all break this down? You're basically saying Kyrie Irving has no chance to be LeBron James. Duh. We all know that LeBron James is universally recognized as arguably the greatest player on the planet. There are some debating right now as to whether or not Kevin Durant has supplanted him. I don't believe so, but it's definitely been discussed. But it's really about LeBron and Kevin Durant. We know that Kyrie is not on that level. But as I pointed out in my column on The Undefeated, as I've said on SportsCenter, and as I'll say again, just because somebody else is greater does not mean that you are not great. And when we take that...
You know all about that on the show.
No, actually you are, but that's a different subject for another day. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that Kyrie Irving is not saying that he's better than LeBron James. Kyrie Irving is saying he's good enough to have his own team. And more importantly, he's not interested in playing second fiddle to a LeBron. But y'all are assuming that he's talking about on the basketball court. It's not just a basketball court. It's basically being treated like a second-class citizen in comparison to LeBron on the very franchise that he's a part of. So we have to take history into consideration.
He is one.
Stay with me. Stay with me. It's not just about that. He is that on Cleveland. But that's why he doesn't want to be there any longer. Because if he went elsewhere, he may not get treated like that. So that begs the question, what's been transpiring in Cleveland with LeBron? As I pointed out, when the team wins, he leads them. When they're struggling, not necessarily him. When there's a mistake that's being taken place on the court, the histrionics come into play where you're getting in Tristan Thompson's face. And you only calm down when Tristan raises up. and gets on you because you're the one missing defensive assignments. You're the one quick to point out what everybody else is doing wrong, as if you haven't missed a few assignments when we have basketball aficionados all over this network that have highlighted on countless occasions. Time out. Where assignments were missed.
Double timed out.
Where assignments are missed, and there's been a dereliction of duty on the part of the great LeBron
So he
James.
has to be perfect in order to be criticized, because he's more perfect than everybody else.
Once again, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when you're quick to get on everybody else, it might wear thin. If you are sitting there and you're treated on an elevated level compared to them, and they're a star in their own right, like Kyrie Irving, it might wear a bit thin. If you are Kyrie Irving and you signed for $90 million, and then you find out he's coming along and that wasn't your vision, you accept it because you're smart, but at the same time, that wasn't what you wanted. When you are a teammate of LeBron, and LeBron came back in part to play with you because Dwayne Wade supposedly was aging and the injuries and attrition kicked in and what have you, and he had to look for greener pastures. He's thinking of all these things. Is Kyrie right definitively? I don't think we could say that, because I think that to some degree, LeBron has been right in terms of saying he's sort of getting a bad rap. But in the end, if you are a Kyrie Irving, you're a bad boy in your own right, and you want to be
Michael
respected.
Jordan was punching people in the face on his team. I don't want to hear LeBron's not perfect.
Therefore,
He's a little
Scotty.
But how do you treat? He treated Scotty all the time like Scotty wasn't a second-class citizen.
You got to remember, Kyrie. You mean the Scottie Pippen that had the migraine for a Game 7 of a conference finals? You mean that Kyrie?
Scottie Pippen was a better player than Kyrie, not close.
I understand that, but again, it's about your heart and it's about what you bring to the table.
Okay, so let's talk about.
Basketball people know that.